Cloud cover remains over the capital city, clearly seeing that over our Honda of Lincoln camera. You know what you don't notice, though? The camera shaking in the wind. It is not too breezy out there. A little bit of a wind, but it's been worse in recent weeks. Satellite radar imagery now, you can see these low clouds continuing to spread north. This little corridor of clearing right here. There are more low clouds out towards North Platte, Broken Bow, inching up closer to Kearney, especially north central Nebraska, where we are dealing with some wintry precipitation, maybe even flat out snow in a couple of pockets. This is the only area of the state where I think we'll be dealing with frozen precipitation later on today. Maybe a couple of sprinkles in southeast Nebraska. That is it. In fact, I think much of this probably wouldn't even show up on radar, so don't be surprised if you're driving and you may have to run the windshield wipers a couple of times, but that's about it, just enough to be a little bit annoying to run the windshield wiper blades intermittently. 50 degrees still in Lincoln, 50 in Aurora, also 50 in Hastings. We've warmed up to 50 degrees in Wahoo. In that corridor, we saw a little bit of clearing on satellite imagery. Temperatures are still going to warm up rather efficiently, but for areas like Lincoln, Beatrice, Nebraska City, the cloud cover is going to slow any sort of warming trend in the hours to come, so probably not getting too much warmer than 50 degrees in Lincoln. 45 right now in Falls City. So we'll say 51 for a high in Lincoln, 49 Beatrice, 57 though in Grand Island. This is where I think we have the best chance to see more sunshine for a longer duration. 53 in Columbus, a southeast wind, 10 to 20 miles per hour sustained, perhaps a few higher gusts at times. As we head into tonight, we're looking for an overnight low near 36 degrees. Now notice we have the potential to maybe get close to freezing a little bit farther to the north and west as a push of cool air does appear to arrive. Now I do think for most of the overnight hours, temperatures will actually be running in the middle, maybe upper 30s, low 40s for most of us, even out here. But as winds begin to swing around out of the north for most of us, we'll start to see a push of cool air, and we have the chance to reach the freezing mark or maybe a few degrees below it for some communities farther west. As we head into tomorrow, we'll have a frontal boundary setting up to our south, and we do have a precipitation chance in part because of that. It's very low throughout much of the day. Not zero, as this shows you here. We'll take you through Stormcast in just a moment, but the highest chance will be later on in the evening. So Stormcast 7 a.m., you can see some cloud cover. I think we'll be dealing with partly to mostly cloudy skies on Wednesday. This version of Stormcast does want to show a couple of sprinkles cropping up into far southern Nebraska every now and again. That's why I don't think the precipitation chance is zero necessarily, but it's pretty low. As we head into the evening hours, not seeing much initially, but once we get into the later evening hours, you'll see some scattered showers popping up, even some snow in northern Nebraska. I think it'll all be in the liquid variety along and south of I-80, but nevertheless some scattered showers, maybe even an occasional rumble of thunder. Can't be ruled out. Speaking of this snow chance, it's looking like it's going to be mostly light snowfall, maybe a couple of bands producing a streak, maybe an inch or two in a couple of spots. It'll be something we're watching, but most of that's going to be in northern Nebraska, all in the liquid form a little bit farther south. So maybe a couple of sprinkles throughout the day on Wednesday. That is it. And then late Wednesday, that's where we have the chance to see some scattered showers. That's our next best chance for rainfall, and even then, it's just on a scattered basis. 49 degrees on Thursday. We'll start to dry out a bit. 54 on Friday. Now our next precipitation chance arrives over the weekend. You'll notice the word mix on there. You might be wondering, how can mixed precipitation happen at 48 degrees? Well, I say look at the low temperatures, because if any of that precipitation happens in the early morning hours or in the evening hours where temperatures are sort of close to the freezing mark, well, then we could see some flakes mixing in or even snow altogether in some areas.
Sure.